Waterwight, Book 1, Chapter 9. Bonjour, ma petite. Orville's mysterious voice greeted her. He had watched over her the whole night through, rarely closing his translucent lids. You know who I am. You met me in your dream. I shall not speak your name. Yes, you told me there was an easier way down when I was on the ledge, but there is no time to visit, the glistening creature warned. His jade green eyes, flecked with gold, observed her intently. You slept well, and now we must continue our journey inland. The big water continues to creep, and we have many miles to go. Old Man Massive had warned her about weird things released by the Great Disruption, and Orville was certainly unusual. Celeste was getting used to the idea of talking with animals, but he was the first creature with incongruous physical characteristics. She judged Orville's weight to be close to 50 pounds, half her own, and with his strong hind legs extended, he was taller than she was. She had no idea how his delicate emerald wings could lift his bulk, never mind adding her own to the load, and his webbed rear feet were the size of battle shields. The ridges down his back reminded her of rebar. She remembered first hearing the word rebar when her dad was using the reinforced steel rods to build their deck. Rhubarb? She had asked him, misunderstanding. Her father's laughter had made her feel warm inside. But how'd you get me here? I was barely holding on. And oh, I'm so sorry. I haven't thanked you for saving my life. Orville looked tired. You wanted to live. Could I have helped you if you had not? Je ne sais pas. He turned south. If you still want to live, you must follow. Celeste followed him. The doves were already in flight. Just before taking to the air, movement in the brush caught Celeste's attention, and something advanced on her menacingly. Without breaking stride, Orville's whip-like tongue shot out and back, instantly trapping the disgusting rodent that threatened to bite her. The frog's bulging eyes retracted, pushing the vile creature back and into his stomach. Orville noted Celeste's wide-eyed expression. Oh, excusez-moi, how thoughtless of me. You must be hungry as well. Uh, um, she shook her head, hoping to shake away what she had just witnessed. Despite her hunger, the frog's meal left her feeling queasy. No, not really. I'll get something later. Are you rested enough to fly now? Orville hopped quickly, and Celeste tried not to look at the shape of the bulging meal in his belly. Yeah, I guess so. She trotted after him. Orville, why is this happening to me? To us? We were all affected by the Great Disruption. No one knows how or why. If you are ready, we should fly. I sense danger. He was airborne instantly, and she was right by his side. Is it the shifter? Celeste glanced behind her. If that is the horrible thing pursuing you, it may be, but do not fear. We are faster than the clumsy bird. Orville's words helped to calm her. She marveled at the beauty of his wings sparkling in the bright sunlight, and when she saw how his enormous feet stretched behind him in the air, she figured out how he'd kept her aloft during the treacherous flight across the water. So I'm guessing you didn't have wings before the event. Oui, I did not. Et autre chose. Celeste was uncertain about his last words, but understood the word yes. And how was it you just happened to be there miles from shore when I was ready to give up. Again, I must say, je ne sais pas, but I do know that since the recent surge, which has engulfed even more land, I have heard your voice in my head and dreamt your dreams. I cannot say why. You were ready to leave the other side, and I sensed you would question your new powers. And I could not let you die. The big water grows more treacherous each day. Trying to make sense of what Orville was telling her, Celeste remained quiet while they flew over the gently rolling landscape. Finally, she broke the silence. Where are we going? And why does it look like everything's dying? For as far as she could see, the vegetation was faded or already brown. The big water, though I once loved swimming in its coolness, changed in what you call the event. Now it is poison to many things. It drowns trees and slowly kills whatever it touches on land. That is why we must travel to the far inland, not yet touched by the expanding spring. Not yet? Celeste crinkled her eyebrows. It must stop, or soon there will be rien à espérer. He whispered his last words. He didn't want her to lose hope. Nothing to hope for? Is that what you just said? Celeste recognized his French words, even though she'd never been taught the language. Despite the sorrow in his words, she was excited about her ability to understand them. Tu comprends? He sounded surprised by the new power manifesting in Celeste. Oui, yes, I do understand. Orville slowed his flight and landed lightly. Celeste settled by his side. Your powers are greater than I expected. He turned to look at her head on. I am taking you to the only land I know with people. Many of these people are frightened and suspicious of newcomers because their focus has been to stay alive. Celeste gave him her complete attention. They will run you off if you do not have a skill they need or value, and from what I have seen in the village, not one can fly or communicate with others as you can. These abilities will put you in danger because they are powers well beyond what those in authority possess. Then wouldn't they love to have someone like me in their community? Just imagine what I could do for them. I can get places faster, and by communicating with others, as you put it, I can find out things they might not know. But that will also make you a threat, ma petite. Much like the power of your name, which you must hide, your ability to talk with animals and with the mountain spirit makes you powerful. How do you know about my name and the animals and the mountain? She hadn't mentioned them to her bizarre new companion. When I heard the mountain boom your name, something resonated in my ears. They are très sensibles, sensitive. And when I heard you speak, it was as if I were there with you. I do not know how or why. The explanation made as much sense to her as everything else that had happened since leaving the home. It was futile to question him further. I could teach. That wouldn't threaten anyone, would it? I know I'm young, but I could pretend I learned different languages and things from traveling around when I was with my... She could not finish. I'm sorry about ce qui s'est passé. Orville gazed at Celeste, whose eyes began to water. You don't need to apologize for what happened. She wiped her eyes brusquely. She hated it when she cried. It wasn't your fault. I just really miss my mom and dad, that's all. She looked to the north, to a place that seemed worlds away from her. So, what do you think? I don't know what else I could do, really. Your idea is magnifique. Orville's enthusiasm lightened the somber mood. Those who can teach are rare, and I have also observed survivors who speak other languages as I do. Sadly, they are segregated by race and language in the village. There is very little interaction between the houses. Well, let's see about changing that. How much longer until we arrive? Celeste was excited about meeting other survivors. We will be there by nightfall, but you should not approach until daylight. We will sleep at a safe distance tonight. In the morning, we will make a plan. The two caught up with the doves. They seemed as eager as Celeste to reach their destination. The shifter, many miles away, could smell traces of Orville's slick skin in the air and knew it was on the right track. The silly girl thought she could hide by changing her name. It would be patient. It could not sneak up on its prey with the carnivorous amphibian standing guard. But this did not concern the shifter. It knew where its prey was heading. That ends chapter 9 of Waterwight.